Welcome to the original Loretta Brown Show, radio to open the heart, heal the soul, and awaken the consciousness. Mr. Benny Mathers, how are you doing a week later?
I feel like I'm still a little bit under the weather. That makes sense, right?
Yes.
No, we're doing pretty good. There's a lot of changes actually since our Super Bowl win for the Seattle Seahawks. They are now, as of yesterday, up for sale.
I saw that.
Yeah, so hear me out. Let's just all get a couple friends, pool a couple dollars together, add it all up. We can come up with $8 billion. I mean, that's supposed to be around the estimated value for the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, It's a turnkey operation. I feel like we could do it.
Yeah, I think it's turnkey. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she was saying, "You think they're going to move the Seahawks?" I go, "There's such a strong fan base here."
I would so doubt it, only because of we're trying to get the Seattle Supersonics back from that purchase from years ago. I don't even want to get into that. Everyone knows the history, but they left the town and no one expected that, and we have to get another franchise from another team back. I think our heart and our love for them is too strong here. There's no way anyone here would let that go.
Yeah.
I think a lot of investors would jump in at the chance. Former players, in fact, you know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot. And I just, there's no way. There's just no way.
Yeah, there's no way. And then somebody, there's these photographers, might have been the photographer for Como. I'm not quite sure. I'm sorry, I don't have the right person to thank for it. Took this amazing picture of clouds on the top of Mount Rainier, and it looks like a big hawk, like the Seahawks landing like a giant,
cool,
eagle or hawk on top of the mountain. So I posted that on my Facebook page.
Oh, sweet.
They titled it "The Seahawk Landed," right? But it's pretty cool. We always have these cool clouds on the top of Mount Rainier.
Well, with your Seahawk photo, I honor that. And I love it. I will take a look for that one. That should be pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll share it along.
Yeah, share it along. It's a great picture.
Good.
So anyway, I agree. Let's put out our little I'll send Reiki to that.
Oh, for sure. No doubt.
Since I've proven how powerful my Reiki is,
Pretty strong. Pretty strong.
Pretty strong. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the show. I am Loretta Brown. I'm the owner of Reiki Oasis, located right here in the greater Seattle area for the last 30 years. Blop, blop, that's for sure. And we do lots of stuff over there. You can find out more about me at ReikiOasis.com. This Saturday, I have my monthly class for women, the Temple of the Divine Feminine. We're going to have a really great time over there. And we're going to do some celebrations. We're going to do some talking. It's always heartfelt, lots of laughter, lots of love, and lots of good things. You can join me in person or via Zoom. Go to schedule.reikioasis.com and sign up for everything. My next gong bath is next Saturday, February 28th at 10 a.m. And I'm having a really good time with that.
Did you say gong bath? Yeah. You know what we should do? I should recreate that and then add in like some what is it? Ernie with the rubber ducky?
Yes.
Okay. I think I got an idea, bro.
I think you got it. I think you got it. Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had people come and people are astonished. They didn't know that you could do so many things with the gong. People know about crystal bowls, which I also do, right?
Yes.
And the Tibetan bowls and the tuning forks and blah, blah. But this is very different. And I absolutely love it. I always have to give a shout out to my gong master teacher, Vikram Paul from Spain. Thank you so much. And it just knows, sometimes you meet someone who knows so much more than you know, and it's exciting.
It's the spot.
Yeah.
I'm like, more spots. Lots of spots.
Tell me more.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, tell me more. Yeah, I want to know all about it. Now I got to keep moving on because, that's my when you love something, you do so much and you get excited talking about it. Then people are like, oh my God, could we talk about something else?
Like hitting the gong?
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, I feel that way about sound and healing and frequencies and everything that I do. Like I have the best job in the world. Yeah. And then, yes, we're going to Egypt again. It will be in October. If you want to know more about that, just send an email to reikioasis@gmail.com. And I am revamping my itinerary right now. So For those that are already emailed me, uh, be patient. You will get all of the information very, very soon. So let's dive in, because we've got astrology going on like insanity this week. Like it all happened. Like we had the ring of fire new moon in Aquarius solar eclipse, while the fire horse was leaping through it. So I actually bubbled up this week with what I was trying to say about the fire horse, and I called it the fire hose. And I went, I think that's actually right. I think it's the year of the fire hose.
It's not far off.
It's not far off. Pretty much there. Yeah. But so on February 17th, we experienced the ring of fire solar eclipse in Aquarius. That's fire and air. It's eclipse that partially veils the sun, right? Leaves a luminous halo all around it. Some people posted some amazing pictures of that ring of fire. These eclipses are known for opening new pathways of consciousness, and what was hidden begins to glow. What was uncertain begins to reveal its outline, and boy, is that appropriate. The eclipse launches a new Aquarius Leo eclipse cycle, activating themes of truth versus performance, authentic leadership, community, technology, and the future of humanity. A fitting mantra for this eclipse and for these times right now is expect the unexpected. Get ready. Just expect the unexpected. I think that's my mantra for life. Anyway, Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius and the great awakener, is strongly activated right now. Sudden insights, abrupt endings, and surprising opportunities may arrive without warning, but not without purpose. Power dynamics are shifting personally, socially, politically, and globally. And if you reflect back to February of 2017, man, you got to go back in your brain through January of 2019, if you can remember that, you may notice that there were similar themes that are resurfacing now, but they're at a higher octave. This is an 18-month journey that we're just beginning, and we're laying the first stone on a path, and it's not fully visualized. We don't quite know everything that's going to go on. We do have a little gentle current coming in. We have the goddess asteroid Chariklo of spirit medicine, and her presence reminds us that healing right now is subtle, intuitive, and nature-based. And she asks, what restores your life force? What signals is your body giving you? And where is nature quietly offering medicine? Remember that, one of the best things you could do is just go take a walk, clear your head, hug a tree, look at the sky, that kind of a thing. So dreams, intuition, and time outdoors are not luxuries right now. They are guidance systems. They're actually requirements. And boy, have I been having weird dreams. Oh, man, I'll have to do a show on dream interpretation. Overlaying all of this, as I said, we entered the lunar new year of the fire horse, a powerful archetype of courage, momentum, and truth-telling. And fire horse years are not passive. They make us move forward whether we feel ready or not. The horse just starts running, and it will run, and in its own right it will burn everything behind it. So any last residual of that snake skin that from the year of the snake that's been coming off, it's going quick. If you try to hang on to anything right now, it's going to make it more difficult for you. So the best thing is just to center and ground and listen to great shows like what we're going to do today with my wonderful friend Dr. Christopher Macklin. I'll bring him in a minute. And keep yourself centered. And then we've got something really big happening tomorrow, February 20th. We have a historic moment. We have the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries. Think of it as the 0 point, the start, the very beginning. And it's a once every 36-year alignment. It's a true reset point. Saturn brings structure, and Neptune dissolves illusion. So we're dissolving any illusions around the structure of our world. And boy, oh boy, with those files out there, those e-files, I hope I can say the word Epstein, those files, wake up, people. Do not hide your head in the sand right now. Everything that we thought was conspiracies apparently is real. So Hold yourself steady. Reach out if you need help, by the way. I am here. I'm very aware of things. So in Aries, this is about new beginnings forged through clarity. Old systems based on confusion, deception, or spiritual bypassing simply cannot hold together. They're falling apart. Individually and collectively, we're being asked to build something real, something grounded, something ethical, and something aligned with our soul truth. And maybe, my guest will even have more insight into that. The complete disclosure is here. We also have a Neptune conjunct with Algol in the sky. These things are happening right now. And that conjunction is sort of like off with their heads. You're simply going to see the falling away of old structures and people in positions being removed out of those positions. Added to this, we have heightened solar activity, massive CME events. We're seeing the physical sun echo what's happening symbolically. Information is surfacing. Our nervous systems are activated. You might want to go back and listen to my wonderful show with Elizabeth April, because she wrote a book called Your Anxiety is Giving Me Anxiety. And just remember to hold steady. So the medicine this week: adaptability, grounding, community, reach out to others, and discernment. And on that wonderful platform, I'm going to bring in my wonderful guest, my soul friend, my soul brother, one of my favorite people in the world. Honestly, I do mean it. Dr. Christopher Macklin. Some of you may know who he is. I love his, personally love his dedication to clarity, healing, and spiritual sovereignty. He's an internationally recognized spiritual teacher, an author, a healer, a member of the Galactic Federation. He's a researcher in consciousness and energetic integrity. And he's known for his work clearing negative attachments, supporting abductees and experiencers, and helping people reclaim their energetic sovereignty. His latest book, History, Truth, and Healing, explores the impact of negative ET presence on Earth. He's also the head of the Global Enlightenment Project and offers free healing. Yes, I did say free healing twice a week, as well as one-on-one healing. Wow. Christopher, welcome to the show.
Yay, thanks, Loretta. Thanks for having me. Bless your heart. It's great to be here.
It's
great to be back.
It's great to be here. I'm so glad you're here, and you've risen from the dead, and again. You know, you're almost as good as Daniel Brinkley. You know, what are they going to do?
I know, yeah, Daniel, yeah. Well, I keep pinching myself. Am I still here? Yeah, definitely here.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I know that I sort of alluded to a few things in the opening, and I'd kind of like you to kind of reach out maybe to the audience and give us a little bit of insight as to what's happening right now. You have so much insight, and I know that's a big paintbrush that I just threw out there. But what is creating hope for you right now in the middle of all of this chaos?
The chaos itself, I think, because I think what happens is that people get so comfortable with the hamster wheel of life, and they're on it. For the people who awaken, starseed people, we've been seeing this. I mean, I've been seeing it for many years, like 25, 30 years. And, I've recognized what's happening. Of course, like we were saying before, you put your tinfoil hat on, you talk to people about this stuff. Oh, damn, no, it's just conspiracy. How many times have I heard that? And now it's all coming true. So I've actually retired mine. I've got a row of them on the shelf. Oh, that was from like 1991. That one's from 2024. And it's interesting because even my father, he doesn't even get it. Oh my God, Prince Andrew, And, well, yeah, just wait till you find out the rest of the royal stuff, and everything else. So they're dropping it. They're dropping it very cleverly and very carefully, I think, because if you drop it all at once, I mean, they reckon they've dropped, what, 2% of it, or is it 20%? I don't know. And it's 3 million documents. So you're talking about 50 million documents. They've got it all. And so, if you drop it too quickly, it can overload people. Yes. I had a client the other day, and she said, oh my God, my son, thought I was a conspiracy theorist. And then suddenly he's phoned me up. I feel sick. I feel nauseated. I'm reading his files. And, well, yeah, and so people are starting to wake up. But I also think it's our time as Starseed people. We've been going through this forever. to really just take a step back and let people who are unawakened start to awaken. Yes, support them, but I don't go out and sort of try and encourage people anymore. Just allow them to
yes,
and support them in their transition. And it's a lot. People are losing their minds at the moment. I work with about 3,000 people a week, and wow, it's hard. People often said to me, yeah,
3,000 people a week. Whew.
Yeah, the one-to-ones, the general groups, which is by donation. If you don't have any money, come on them, please, because we get about 1,600 people on each one with all the platforms. And then we've got, specialized groups, one-to-ones. We work on about 120, 130 people a week. We've also got the protocol to strip any nanotech and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure everyone knows what we're talking about. It's hard at the moment and I think this job's got harder because people are really struggling. What you're doing really is, helping people maintain a balanced life. You know what I mean? Because when people are going south, you release emotion, release the trauma, and just support them in what's happening. I mean, and there's a lot happening. You look at the files, you look at what's going on behind the scenes, different countries trying to get peace, and the whole game is so how would you call it? Like convoluted. It's you don't know which side is up. So
well, convoluted is the real thing. I want to get in and talk about the angelic technology, but I just want to make this comment. I felt in my heart to bring it to the show today because I have so many people coming to me that are struggling and having a difficult time. And I had a client ask me the other day, and they said, Loretta, is there let's see, how did she say it? Is there a subset, like a different, a subset of reality where these people are running the show, or they're living this other life that is just so foreign to me, like a underground bunch of people? And I said, yeah, apparently there is. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's a lot of them.
And there's a lot of them, and it's startling to us. So when we come up against these things, we're coming up against cognitive dissonance, where we're facing something that's so foreign to us. So I just so appreciate what you're saying, Christopher. Take it a bit at a time. Take it a bit at a time.
Yeah, you got to, like you were saying, in your introduction. I think you've got to live your life. We've got 40 acres here in Missouri. We've built a house. The Amish built it. It's surrounded by trees, so you're protected from the outside energies to an extent. You still feel it, but I think it's really important to get back to the very basic of life. Nature. Going out in the trees, looking at all the animals. We have loads of animals here. We have also a lot of activity. Fey beings, different things happen. And people say, "Oh, I don't believe in fey." Okay, well, whatever. I've seen them. We can see them. Yeah, we were around a fire. The fire pit's the other end of the property, and we had a fire pit, we're having a beer, and there's about 6 people there, and suddenly this bright green, like really bright green fey being just floated past, and everyone would go, whoa, so there you go, the fairies are out. And people think all these things is just like, oh yeah, it's dreamland. It's not. It was real. Everyone saw it. So we've got a lot of activity here, and I love it. I love being here. But I think, but I also think you've got to lead your life where you get into a place where you've set boundaries, so you're not teaching people all the time. I mean, the work I do, I can't do this level of work. People have asked me, how do you do it? I don't know how you do it, this many people. And I get into a space, but then, in your free time, you can't be teaching people or doing healings. You've got to be amongst people who understand you, have a laugh, and and really enjoy life. I mean, everything's collapsing. The dollar bill's collapsing. I mean, you were saying about $8 billion for the football team. Well, $8 billion, it's lost 97% of its value since, was it 1973? So, I mean, money's worthless. And people go, oh my God,
Well,
you got to detach.
You have to detach. Yeah, I was going to say you can only do that so much, and then the answer, because I get asked all the time. I said the answer is to get yourself into a different frame of mind, because otherwise, without meaning to, you're feeding that negativity and the archons and that whole thing over there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And they're there, and they're actually stepping up the game, because there's a whole slew of them. There's like, the Anunnaki, there's the Draconians, there's the Archons connected to all the, bioweaponry things. There's obviously Luciferians connected to the Vatican, and all these things have got together and basically are at the moment, they've become very prevalent. It's their last ditched attempt to try and shut people down. How do they do it? They're trying to attach to you, they mess with you, they try and send you, thoughts, external thoughts, internal thoughts. They do all sorts of things, and people have woken up. I had scratches down my back. Oh, yeah, that would be probably the Anunnaki or somebody playing with you, scaring you. And you've got to, to me, you've got to get to that place where you've processed your trauma, so you're not getting triggered by people. Lately I've had a lot of people saying, well, I went to a drink with 6 ladies and we were having a good time, and I just mentioned something to this lady. How dare you, and got triggered. And she only told her the truth. But, people with their trauma, of course, they've got buttons on their chest, and you just press a button and they go south. So, instead of getting reactive from that sort of situation, the best idea is, oh, bless them, they're full of trauma, not their fault, and just love them. But maybe set a boundary and don't go out with them again, because unless they work on the trauma. And I see that a lot,
Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself at some level, right? And because we're processing a lot right now, I think it's real important. We've talked a little bit about the negativity out there. I want to ask you about angels. Yeah. I talk about angels and the human blueprint at some point, but I want to ask you, what are angels? What are they? Who are they?
Well,
are they here?
Well, yeah, they're definitely here. I mean, they're basically beings. I mean, angels, there's archangels, there's angels. I'll explain the difference between the two, but it's like an angel is defined as a spiritual being, almost like a divine messenger between you and God. And so if you have angelic beings, I mean, I'll go through the different ones, probably the archangels, because, we probably don't have time to look at the angelic beings as well, but they guide you, but they're not necessarily visible to the human eye, but it depends on your gifts. I mean, I've had Mother Mary, who's a Melchizedek being. When I got really sick and I was dying, she came to me, it was about 1 a.m, and she goes, well, do you want to stay or go? I said, well, that's a stupid question, She goes, well, I was just asking. So, because I'm staying, I'm not leaving. Yeah, but there's crossroads in your lives, and people often say, well, you're a healer. Why didn't you heal that heart valve? Well, I didn't have time, because it happened so quick. And, people are always quick to judge when, I said to her, do we have time to heal it, before, no, you need the operation. So I did it. But they do appear. So angelic beings, so how did they get there? Well, the angels and archangels have got to a place of unconditional love. They've worked on the trauma. They've processed it in past lives, and now they're in a place where they're there to help, because they've got that energy, that unconditional love of God energy, which takes a lot for people to get there. I mean, I feel I'm almost there. I've worked a lot on my trauma here, of which I've had a lot. And when you get there, you get this like overwhelming peace. It's like a surrender peace. God's got your back, and you just let it be. And, you never want for anything.
Yeah.
You've always got food on the table. Am I a multi-billionaire? No. Am I a millionaire? No. But do you know what? You don't need all that stuff. All you need is just peace, somewhere to live, and a car, and you're good to go. And I think if you can get to that surrender place, it was, for Christmas, Mandy said, well, what do you want for Christmas? I don't know. I don't need anything, I really don't, and when you get to that place, you think, wow, yeah, I think you made it. So, and love people. Again, I always abide myself by Jesus' teachings. I'm not a Christian, but his teachings are, don't judge people, love people. But of course, you can set boundaries. You can still love them, don't judge them. But, do you want that in your personal space? Probably the answer is no. But that's not judgment. That's just, setting boundaries so you can operate from that loving place and allow people to process their emotions and things. So yeah, so what's the difference between angels and archangels? I just want to, if we can go through a couple of them.
Yeah.
So angels have reached, the unconditional love. So what's an archangel? Well, they have the wisdom because their soul has been around for a lot longer, So if you call on, I mean, people call on Michael, they pick on him a lot, like, let's call Michael because poor lad's probably so busy. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but Archangel Michael, he's an ancient Palladium. And he's got loads of wisdom. So that's when you really need some deep answers, some deep help. They've got the wisdom. Gabriel, Sirius. He's from Sirius. Again, he's more about. I mean, Michael is about protection, courage, and cord cutting. Gabriel is communication and messages. You've also got Raphael Andromedan. So they're all coming from the different, factions of starseed beings that are here helping us. You got Uriel, Arcturian, and in fact, the Arcturians work very closely with the Kildare beings. Just thought that's wisdom, insight, ideas. Shamael, Taurus constellation. We've got Jophiel, Lyran, Zadkiel, Orion, Raziel, Sirius B, Ariel, Lyran. And so, I do list these because I can't remember, them all, but Haniel, Palladium, and Azrael, Orion. So all these angels are there to help us, and they can help everybody. All you have to do is ask. And so, just get into meditation, say, hey guys, I need some help. I have worked with Michael a bit, he has appeared before me as well, which is incredible. And people often say, well, how do they appear? Exactly like you'd imagine, like, the light and, you have to put your shades on, like, tone it down a bit, please, Incredible beings, though. They're really incredible beings. But
yeah, I was going to say, I think it's really great what you're going through. Keep talking. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just saying it's so exciting to know they're here and a little bit more about them. Honestly, yeah.
Oh yeah, and I think I could go through regular angels like Ramiel and Israel, Sirius, and Actor. Again, they're from the same race. It's just that the wisdom is different with archangels as opposed to an angel. An angel can love you and maybe give you some wisdom, but these guys have been around for a long time, and of course, ascended masters have been around for a long time as well, which are also angelic, like Yeshua. You've got Babaji. You've got different ones. Enoch. So they've all been very gifted beings. Tried to teach down here. Did they get anywhere? Probably not. I mean, they helped at the time, but But don't forget, these starseeds have been back many times, and they're all back now because this is the most difficult time, in the planet's history.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting scenario going on. So yeah, so people need help. So call on them. That's what they're there for. Bless them.
Yeah. So we're going to take a little station break, and when we come back, we're going to get more into it. I'm going to ask Christopher about his angelic technology and the human blueprint. When we get back, we'll find out more about that. And yeah, please don't go away. This is Loretta Brown. I'm with the amazing Dr. Christopher Macklin, the one and only. We'll be right back.
All clear.
Energy is powerful. It's all around us, mysterious, full of potential. Directing positive, healing energy to raise your vibrational rate through Reiki can change your life. Reiki Master Loretta Brown has relieved stress, sadness, anger, and even helped clients lose weight, stop smoking, and end sleep disorders. Worldwide, people have sought out Reiki Oasis. If you want help with your dis-ease, visit ReikiOasis.com. Harness life's energy. Visit ReikiOasis.com today.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. Let their story unfold and gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. Hire skills first. Learn why at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Do you have something important to say? Want to help improve our world? Need to promote your business uniquely and effectively? KKNW is the answer. Our staff helps broadcasters and podcasters create professional sounding audio. Bring your talent and let our experts help you craft a radio show or podcast that best delivers your message. Learn more at 1150kknw.com. That's 1150kknw.com. KKNW, variety talk radio that's live and local.
Need help getting started with self-help? You came to the right place. Alternative Talk 1150.
Y'all ready to come back? Yep. Sorry to interrupt. Here we go.
Welcome back to the original Loretta Brown Show. And guess what? Ta-da! I'm the original Loretta Brown. I suppose there's other Loretta Browns out there that will argue with me, but hey, you know. I get to say it every now and then. My wonderful guest today, Dr. Christopher Macklin. You can find out more about him at Global Enlightenment Project.com. The words are all run together, Global Enlightenment Project.com. And you should check it out. Like he gives free healings every week. You just do it. And then he does one-on-ones. And I've also gone through his protocol a couple of years ago, and I had weird stuff come out of my body. I just highly recommend it. It's the real thing. A reminder that these shows are archived, downloaded for free at the KKNW 1150 AM archives for the original Loretta Brown Show. That's so many words. And we're on YouTube, iTunes, Podcast One, Spotify, Pandora X, Megaphone. I'm sure I've left something out. You've got the idea. So please go check it out. We are going to really get deeper into our I just love talking to Christopher so much, and your energy is so fantastic. Thank you for being on the show. I want to talk a little bit about, you use the word angelic technology and the human blueprint. Can you just launch into that? What do you mean angelic technology? And what's that got to do with the human blueprint?
Well, angelic technology is technology that all these angelic beings, I mean, we talked about some of the angels, you know, Arcturians, Palladian angels, archangels, whatever, and they have technology well in advance of ours. So this angelic technology has been around, and, you know, it's been offered to us. We've used it. We went south, you know, like there's been, you know, serious wars. There've been Martian wars, obviously not in our history books. I wonder why. Oh, well. Tartaria. We've had we've had a lot of times where we've been given technology, and of course, you know, it's like giving a 3-year-old the keys to a Ferrari. A Ferrari doesn't actually last that long. This time is different because I think people are evolved enough to realize that let's use this technology and for good things. But of course, in the past, the deep state cabal, whatever you want to call them, have actually seized this technology and hid it, and it's all here, you know. And I think that will be coming out very soon. You know, we're talking about med beds. I mean, plasma-based med beds. We're talking about, you know, quantum computers, and people say, oh, qubits, chips. The proper quantum computers are based on plasma energy, plasma cubes. So as a consciousness, it's not like artificial intelligence. It's more like synthetic. It's a sentient being, because, you know, plasma is what the sun's made of. You know, it has, you know, it's a sentient being. You know, it has proper feeling. It has, you know, it can tap into other computers without even connecting with them, just by using consciousness. So I know under Mount Hayes they have one of these. It's 1,000 years in advance. Would they give those to us yet? Probably not, because they're too powerful. You know, again, you got to release this stuff in steps. You know, look at their new systems they've got in the military. You know, plasma lasers. You know, all sorts of disabling tools and things that no one's ever seen, been around forever. So, but, you know, for the good of us, you know, for humanity, I think these med beds, the plasma med beds, not the reptilian ones or anything else, get into a reptilian one, I don't know what's going to happen. You probably come out looking like a lizard, but if you get into the proper ones, so, you know, it can actually regrow.
I know some of those people. I think I know some of those people. Anyway, keep going.
So, you know, you can regenerate. And the other thing, you know, I think is important is looking at the population of this world, because I think people still don't believe there's a lot of non-player characters. That's characters that have been born in a pod. I mean, I always have to remind people this, I don't know why, but if you want a proper human being, you need a woman's womb to fertilize, you know, fertilize an egg in a woman's womb, because it's got the God energy. So you fertilize an egg, becomes a fetus, you've got 3 months to get the soul in, and the soul comes through and bonds in. But if you fertilize an egg in a plastic pod, you're going to get a draconian AI type system that, you know, when they're born and when they start growing, they're kind of checked out. You can tell because there's no light in the eyes. They can't go to monologue. They can't really deliberate properly. There's something not right with them. They're basically checked out, more robotic. And there's 75% of the people on this planet like that, you know.
Oh, that's fascinating. How does all of our technology play into that? Right? Like everybody's on phones all the time. Everybody's on. Does that play into that or no?
Well, it can program the normal human beings, which is sad because, you know, people get used to the phones. I mean, how many people, you know, I had an incident at Christmas where, you know, some family came around, won't tell you they are. I cooked dinner, you know, made some lovely food, you know, we put the food out, they were on their phones before that, and then they got to the table on the phones. Now, in the past, I would have had a rule like no phones at the table. But nowadays, you have to be very careful because you want those people to visit you again. If you don't want to visit again, just say, right, no phones at the table. And of course, they'll say, well, I'm not going to auntie and uncle's house again because I can't be on my phone while I'm eating. So it's very difficult to navigate this world because it's a different world. And I think all this thing is programming. I mean, phones even read minds. If you get on Facebook and don't even speak it, just think it. You know, I want a greenhouse or I want something. And adverts start popping up because they're reading you your brainwaves. You know, that's where the technology's got to. It's insane. But it's also, of course, with nano inside your body, you can get manipulated by, you know, the 5G frequencies can actually send frequencies to the nano, which connects to the neuro link. And yeah, you can be manipulated like that. So, you know, it's crazy, all the different manipulations that are going on.
You know, I just had that conversation with someone 2 days ago, and she asked me, she says, are they reading our brainwave patterns? And I went, yeah, I think they are. So you just validated that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, just test on, you know, just get Facebook up and then just think of something like obscure, like greenhouse, or I need whatever you need, a spade or a fork or something. And you just think it, and then suddenly you'll start getting forks or spades coming up on your feed, you know, with adverts. It's insane. You know, it's something different. But if you look at the population, you know, just to clarify, I always look at things that people don't look at. 1500s is 238 million. 238 million in the 1500s. 1600s, 500 million. So there's another, you know, 60 million. Makes sense. 1700s, 500, 610 million. 17 to 1800s, it's gone up to 1 billion. That's 400 million. That's a big leap. 18 to 1900, 1 billion to 1.6 billion. Listen to this, 1900 from 1.6 billion to 6.144 billion in 2000. Now, how does that happen?
Yeah.
Unless people are completely addicted to
yeah.
How does that happen? It doesn't.
No, it doesn't add up.
And don't forget, you know, every time you have kids, you know, they reckon people have 2.4 kids, whatever. So, you know, you have kids, and in your lifetime, which spans maybe 80, 90 years, in that lifetime, they're going to have kids, but of course, the parents are going to pass, or grandparents, or whatever. So, you know, this doesn't make sense. And then 2000 to 2024, it goes from 6.144 billion to 8.7 billion. You kind of think, okay, it's nonsense. You know, it means that they're creating bots, you know, humanoid robot type things. I mean, they're human body, but they're an AI soul. And you can tell if you go into your local store, you can see these people a mile off. Look into their eyes. They're completely dead. There's no light in them. And they're just checked out. You can tell the way they operate. You know, they're more kind of checked out robotic rather than a proper human being, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something to point out. Very interesting.
It's just part of the awareness, like becoming more present, becoming more aware, and just kind of taking a look at what's going on. I want to ask you though more about this angelic technology, because you said a few things there, and it's funny. I wrote down AI, and I went, "Oh, it's not AI. It's artificial intelligence. It's angelic intelligence." It's
yeah, that's true.
That's what it is.
Absolutely.
But the so you said something about this technology. Do you use some of this technology? And you mentioned med beds and the plasma. I'm fascinated by plasma. What kind of technology are we looking at here? What can it do?
There's a lot of things. So let's take, for example, I mean, I've seen one thing. I was in a meeting with some princess lady from some, you know, from a country, and they had a CIA guy there, you know, and he actually did a demonstration. He had a suitcase. He said, I'm going to move that object from there to right over there. And it moved. And he said, this is just a demonstration of what we can do. What they've got is they've got what you call stargates, basically, a time-space continuum switching system where you can walk through, you know, you can have a frame in your house, you know, and, you know, if I want to come for a cup of tea at Loretta's house, like your house, you give me the coordinates, okay, it's 01468, you know, type it in, you walk through it, and suddenly you come in your room, you know, through your opposite stargate, which means that, you know, you don't need aircraft. I mean, aircraft are redundant now, but obviously the technology not out yet. So you've got stargate technology. You've got obviously anti-gravitational. I mean, that would be good locally, because if you want to go to the store, you know, instead of walking through a stargate, you just literally go to the store and come back. But, you know, long-term travel, like anywhere in the world, you know, if you want to go and see my parents, my father's still alive, I want to go and see him in England, it's 4,000 miles away. You could be there in like seconds. You know, so I'm just going for a cup of tea, you know, and then you can come back. Now, it's good for having tipples, because you have some tipples on the way back. You don't get done for drinking and driving. That eradicates that, which is great. I think that's great. Yeah, they've got all sorts of technology, you know, replicators. You can replicate anything, you know, it basically from your mind, and the Akashic record, it's got all the records of every mineral, everything. So if you want to borrow gold, you just replicate it, and it just produces it. You know, using the, you know, molecules and molecular structure, it regenerates things. So if you want a plate of food, you say, well, I need a turkey dinner, and you've got it. So everything's going to be different in the future. Does
this technology connect with our consciousness, or our, you know, because I want to talk a little bit about the words human blueprint. What does this have to do with that? Is it changing us intrinsically? Are we changing to match it, or is it both? Do you understand my question?
Yeah. I think we've changed since we were. I mean, even when you're born, do you have the same DNA that when, you know, of the blueprint in the Akashic? We're talking about blueprint in the Akashic records. When you come down here, you have a blueprint. Okay. And so what happens is, of course, transmissional frequencies, agrobacterium, GMO foods, and things that can alter the DNA. CRISPR technology can alter the DNA. You know, a lot of things, stress can alter the DNA. So even when you're born, your DNA is not the blueprint it should be. And then, of course, you go through life and it just gets worse. And DNA, RNA, and immune systems all connected. When I did I know you went through the protocol. When I did my DNA change in 2009, I don't know if I told you this. Before it, my blood was O negative. So didn't think anything of it. So I did the DNA change. It was pretty rough for about 18 weeks, because you go through, you know, it's changing your whole being. So you become a bit bipolar and, you know, everything else.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you know about that.
Yeah, you get weird. People are
yeah,
like,
you get weird.
With you? You're like,
yeah, I don't know. It's just,
what are those black things coming out of your face? I'm like, don't look at it. Don't look.
So
anyway, go ahead.
So I went through that, and then didn't think any of them. And of course, I had this open heart surgery because my heart. I got Miguel's heart. It's very big. It's the size of a volleyball. The valve was bigger than ones I got off the shelf. So with the arteries, because at first he thought that's heart failure. And he said, no, actually, it's consistent with the whole vascular system. It's just huge, you know. And anyway, they replaced it. I bleed out a lot because my platelets don't clot that easy. Oh, we've got to give you 3 pints of blood. Oh no, okay. I said, well, it's O negative. He said, well, we have to check. So he went to check, came back, said, no, it's not. It's A negative. It's changed, you know. So I said, oh, that's interesting, you know. And I've got proof of both, you know. So the DNA change, because DNA, RNA, immune system, everything's connected. And so when you do the DNA reset back to the blueprint of the Akashic records, it really gets the light body going. You know, normally you get like a lot more, your God connection is off the charts, your intuition, you know, things like that, because the light body in the DNA is completely compatible with your soul. So yeah, that's what the blueprint. And of course, these technologies are quantum. They work on your mind. Now, if you get in a med bed and you're all upset and fed up and, you know, woe is me and everything else and low vibration and, oh, well, you're not going to grow this limb. It's a vessel of acceleration of what you're manifested. You know, I want a new limb. Now, if you say, oh, kind of believe in growing a new limb, it won't, because it's going to do exactly what you think. That's why I think people go into med beds, I think they're going to need to go through some sort of training, you know, therapy to get them in the right place, because, you know, it's completely dependent of where you are, you know.
Yeah, that answers that question, because I was going, is there some sort of a connection with our consciousness? You know, we look into the future, like if I peek into the future, like I see things that don't make sense in today's world, but our mind governs a lot of things, like, you know, maybe it flies my plane or something, right? You know, whatever it is that I'm doing there. But yeah, our consciousness level, and that kind of goes along with what's happening on planet Earth and us waking up and all this kind of stuff. I have a question for you. So we're talking human blueprint. We're talking the original Akashic record blueprint, which also brings up questions about DNA for me, DNA. And does this angelic technology, does it activate our junk DNA, or are we going to be doing that ourselves through consciousness, or is it a...
No, it'll activate it,
Yeah.
you know. It'll activate everything. But like I say, you know, the bed's going to be connected to you, and you know, and it's not going to work if you're not in the right state of consciousness. And I think that's what's important, because people just want a blue pill. There isn't one, or a red pill, or whatever, you know. But
right.
there isn't one of these pills you just take and you're fixed. You have to do some work yourself, you know, to get yourself in the right place. So it's a manifestation vessel of exactly what you want. Right, I want my body refurbished. I want everything done, all my organs top notch. I know we can do it, and we're doing it, you know. And the same with all these other things, you know. I mean, everything's connected to the consciousness. Everything's, you know, if you say, right, reset my DNA back to the blueprint of in the Akashic records, this medbed will get into the Akashic records and connect it with your consciousness and look at your blueprint and restore the cellular, you know, DNA that it should be, you know. So
wow, I feel like 80 million light bulbs are lighting up in my head right now. Keep talking. Wow. So, because you said something so important there, which is this is not a pill. You know, we're always looking for the, well, tell me what, you know, I'll take the pill and I'll be fine. But we've got to do our work right now. We've got to heal our trauma. We are the active ingredient of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. And it's all quantum, you know. What is quantum? Yeah. I mean, that's what's important, you know. To me, healing nowadays is going towards quantum, because the energy down here is not that good. You know, the energy's changed, and so that's why I use portaling systems to the ultimate dimension, you know, because you're bringing energy from the ultimate dimension, you know, that's not contaminated by the collective. I mean, the collective energy now, there's a lot of angsty in the air. There's a lot of, you can feel like the twilight zone, whatever you want to call it, you know. You know, people are, you know, waiting for something to happen. Oh, it doesn't. And it's like, you know, it's like the white hats. I just call them the white hats. I'm not saying the administration, but the white hats, we all know who they are. They're being criticized because not going fast enough. Well, you know, if you've got something so big in this world that's taken over, it's going to take time. And of course, you know, people keep pointing out, oh, they haven't done anything, Behind the scenes, they're doing an absolute ton of work. You know, it's just people don't see it, and so they're getting all upset and bent out of shape. And yeah, I think it's time to step back and just allow them to be able to run what they're doing in the time given, and support them on it. Because there's never be another time to take back this planet as now. So
yeah, and so as all of that's going on over there, like you and I were talking during the break about those people that are on the front lines doing things that I couldn't do, right? I'm
normally,
I got my lovely little space here in Seattle that reaches out, through the world. But what's your best advice to people listening who maybe are like, what, and they're off and then they're on and they're off and on? I mean, we kind of alluded to it, but what's your best advice to them? What do you want to say to them?
I just think you've got to detach from the matrix. I think it's really important. I think you've got to take time for yourself, self-worth. I got a lot of people say, well, I don't have the time. Well, make the time, but I don't have the time. What's more important, you and your health and your happiness, or, the things you're doing, like running off shopping or doing something? You have to take time, I think, every day. I always advise people to take at least an hour for yourself, whether it's meditation, whether it's just sitting there, letting your mind go, processing. And I think also being amongst nature, I love nature, I love it. We spend more time outside than inside because I love sitting outside, looking at the trees, hug a tree, they're incredible beings. And people say, oh yeah, it's a tree, but it's a living sentient being. And if you hug them, you can actually feel their beautiful energy and they're there to support us. I think you really got to take a step back and don't shame yourself. One biggest thing that's coming up at the moment is people are shaming themselves. Like, I feel exhausted, I feel overwhelmed, and everyone's overwhelmed factors come from up here to down here. And my answer is, well, you've always got tomorrow or even the day after. Yeah, but I did that and I didn't do the day after either. Well, what about next week or the week after? Who cares? Because we're programmed that if you're not busy for the sake of being busy, you should shame yourself. And I'm the opposite. I just think, well, I'll do it when I feel like it. And if I don't, who cares? Because the world's not going to end because I didn't sweep the yard or something. Who cares? And I think it's really important to take care of yourself. Don't ever shame yourself because you're a sentient being. You're going through a lot, with the solar storm, solar flares, planetary alignment, all these things. And then on top of that, you've got the collective energy. There's one thing we do have a prayer map of intent, I like to call it, to actually remove the collective and send it back to God. Because when you get overwhelmed, if you feel like anxiety and I'm getting overwhelmed by what's happening outside, send it back to God to be transmuted and dispersed any way God knows how. All these maps of intent are there. Just have a look on the website and use them. And, work on yourself. Spend time for yourself. Love yourself.
There's this weird synchronicity because I have been recently doing this thing of sending it back, and then you brought it up. I went, I'll listen. Christopher, where can people find you, and how can they get onto your free healing calls? And
go to globalenlightenmentproject.com. The next one actually is 5 p.m. today, this afternoon, 5 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to join it, go to Global Enlightenment Project. You can join up, for the Zoom meeting. It's actually on Rumble, it's on Facebook and whatever. So if you want to see it on that, but it's good to sign up. And yeah, if you want healings one-to-one, we do specialized groups where we have up to 20 people. We talk to everybody, then do the healing after. And of course, we do have the protocol to get all the weaponry and nano stuff out of your body. So, if you're interested in that, it really is helping a lot of people. Yeah. So.
Yeah, go and sign up right now, guys. Go sign up, just do it this afternoon. Why not? Get yourself all fixed up and cleaned up, right? Especially for this, Saturn Uranus stuff going on. Get ready.
Oh,
hold on. The horse is here. It's on fire, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any last words?
Last
message? Yeah.
Yeah, just be in your space, surrender, and look at the gratitude of just having a plate of food on the table. Because by goodness, I've been without a few times, and just having a plate of food on the table is the best thing. I chuckle sometimes. Wow, what a beautiful dinner! Looking at everything with gratitude. And when you turn that, you just get more of the same. God's always got your back.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Christopher Macklin, from my heart to yours, so much love. Thank you for being on my show.
Thanks, Loretta. Pleasure.
And everybody out there, have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself. Love on each other. And Mr. Benny Mathers, you are the best. The best.